Just want to do a quick video and kind of recap the potato in a bucket experiment, as I said I would, and provide the results from what we did. As I was filling up the buckets with the potatoes, first I planted the seed potato in about 6 inches of soil that was just purchased topsoil that I had from when I filled up my raised beds. So I planted the seed potato in that, and then it started growing. It got about 6 inches high, and then I put in dirt almost to the top of the potato plant. But what I did is I mixed 50-50 this product here, the Super Soil, which is a compost, and that gardens and the topsoil that I purchased, like 16 yards of it, when the dump truck came. I used that soil plus this in a 50-50 mix by volume. Basically what I did is I took a 5-gallon bucket of this stuff and a 5-gallon bucket of the dirt, and I mixed it up in my wheelbarrow, and then I used that as my filling mix. And it seemed to work pretty well. My main concern was having the soil too thick for the water to get all the way to the bottom, but it seemed to do well. And what I did was I used about, I would say, I probably gave it an inch of water twice a week, roughly, and it seemed to soak through. The only fertilizer I used was this Osmocote, which I put in when I did the put the seed potatoes in, and it's a 19-6-12, and I used about a capful, which is about a quarter cup, and I sprinkled it in there when I put the seed potato in. This year I'm going to use more, maybe this or maybe something different, I'm not sure yet. But like every 4 weeks or something, I'm gonna, like the whole garden. I was kind of scared to use too much fertilizer last year. I didn't want to do anything crazy with it, but this year I'm gonna do a little bit more. I think I've decided. Okay. The 5-gallon buckets, that's all they were, pickle buckets. Punch some holes in the bottom. This year, for the late season potatoes, I think I'm going to stack another bucket on the top like this, because it seemed to me like some of the largest potatoes, at least on the late season ones, were near the top, and so I think maybe I stopped hilling them too soon. I could have gotten more yield out of it, so I'm going to try that this year. Also this year I'm going to use just one of these regular buckets like this with an early season potato, and they're supposed to basically, from what I've read anyway, make potatoes in one layer, and so they won't really benefit from the hilling as much because they're earlier season potatoes. So I'm not going to try and stack buckets for those. But the late season potatoes, I'm going to try that for. I'll do update videos on it and see how it goes. As you can see, I've been acquiring buckets. Don't buy the buckets if you can help it. You can get them at restaurants, delis. I live in Nevada, so there's lots of casinos around, or big hotels. I mean, they use pickles and all other sorts of things that come in these buckets, and I got them all for free, and I got a bunch more outside. So same thing with the 55-gallon drums, car washes, big hotels, laundries, places like that. You can get those barrels for free, so if you can avoid buying one, by all means. There's lots of free ones that we can repurpose for this. And barrels, see, these are the just like the barrels that I used to do the potatoes in last year, where I just cut the bottom off. You can kind of see where it's marked in thirds, right here and then right here. What I did was I cut it off here, and then I cut that section off, and then I cut the top part off, and then I just inverted it. One handy thing I also did with these, just to show you quickly, here's some more buckets that I've been picking up, is I use these as a barrel, and I cut off a little piece and use that as the lid, and that's where I've got my extra soil stored from last year to get going with. As long as they're here, kind of point out, I was out here the other day and I got all my beds cleaned up and pretty well ready to go for spring. The only thing I got planted is my strawberry patch from last year. We're hoping that comes back really well. And that spinach it had a foot of snow on it. But I haven't tried to eat it, and I won't, but it kind of looks and feels and acts just like spinach, like it's good. So I was really surprised by how long that's kind of hung around. Okay, so our final results. I planted them around May 1st, took them out of the ground August 8th, or tipped over, harvested the buckets around August 8th. And here's the results for each of the 10 buckets. And then the 2 barrels. And my totals were 5 3/4 pounds per barrel for the average, and 1 pound 12 ounces per bucket. And some of that was 1 seed potatoes, some was 2 seed potatoes, but that's what we got, and we ate every single one of them. They were delicious. So in total we had a little over 30 pounds of potatoes. Another thing I wanted to point out was, in doing some research about potatoes, I came across this Allison Spud Specs. They're on the Maine Potato Ladies website, mainpotatolady.com, and it talks about all the different kinds of potatoes and just their season and stuff. So I'll put that web address up on the screen. But it got me thinking about getting more potatoes by having an early crop and a later crop. So if you have any questions about the project, or if I can clear up any questions that you have about what I did, I'm not saying that I'm an expert, I'm just saying here's what I did and here's the results I got. Go ahead and feel free to comment or ask me a question. I'll try and answer it the best I can. And I'm looking forward to doing this again next year, and I'm sorry it took so long to post these results, but I got a little bit busy with other things. So happy gardening. Bye.